Greetings to nonprofits, 501c3s, and anybody viewing in. Today we're talking about 3 downloadable templates that I have for you on how to seek donations from the public. I have 3 items that you can download. Number 1 is a fill-in cover letter. Number 2 is a sample cover letter in a Word document. And the other is the same sample cover letter in a PDF file. Now, mind you, this is just one letter in 3 different formats. I'm going to walk you through step by step, highlighting where you insert your information, and that's the fill-in document. Then I'm going to walk you through what the sample looks like paragraph by paragraph. And at the end, you'll see what a complete cover letter looks like. And then I will share a few tips on what attachments you might have to accompany your letter. Now let's begin. And remember, some of you might say, well, I know what a letterhead looks like. Why is she going over that? I'm going over step by step from the top to the bottom because remember, there are beginners who are tuning in and they're listening and they may not know how to do a letterhead. So I don't assume that people listening in knows everything about a cover letter. So what you're looking at right now is what you should have at the top. You have a logo, and you can create a simple logo. Your letterhead, the date, the donor's name, their title, and their address and city, and then what the subject is. Partner with us to make a lasting difference. First paragraph, dear donor's name. I hope this message finds you well. And then at my nonprofit, whatever it is, our mission is simple yet powerful. You fill in what your mission statement is, and then you have the wording. Every day we see the tangible difference that compassion and generosity makes. And then here's your sample, and in this sample, their mission statement is to provide nutritious meals, mentorship, and hope to homeless youth in Topeka, Kansas. And if you haven't created a mission statement for yourself, depending on where you are in your journey, you can look at this sample and take some ideas from it. Your second paragraph, right now you briefly describe the need or the opportunity for your project. And then we tell them with your help, we can meet this challenge head on. And then you say what their support will deliver to you. In this example, they'll deliver 5,000 more meals open to new after-school programs for the students. Here's your sample. Right now, requests for our youth meal services have increased by 40% in the past 6 months. You can say what you've done in the past 6 months. And then as you say, it talks about your support will allow us to serve so many people. Whatever your program is doing, you insert what your program is doing in your sample. The third paragraph, when you give to us your nonprofit's name, you're not just making a tax deductible. You're noticing we put that in there because their deduction is tax deductible in most cases, unless there's some exception, which I talk about in some of my other videos. And then you describe your broader goal, and together we can make a difference, a change in lives. And the sample is next. There it is. When you give to ABC Food Project, you're not just making a tax-deductible donation, you're making an investment in a healthier, more hopeful future for the young people of our community. Together we can change lives, one act of kindness at a time. And the fourth paragraph, we would be honored if you would consider partnering with us through a gift of, this is when you insert what amount of money you're requesting. Usually you should do a range. Every contribution, large or small, helps us bring hope and opportunity to those who need it most. And here's our sample. We'd be honored if you would consider partnering with us through a gift of $100, $250, or any amount you feel inspired to give. And then there's the wording for every contribution and what it does. And your fifth and last paragraph, wrapping things up, thank you for taking the time to consider this invitation to make a difference. I'd be happy to speak with you personally about our work and the impact your generosity could have. You can reach me at, and you give your phone number and email or one or the other, or you may give us directly at, and hopefully you have a website link where people can click on it and see the work you're doing and can get your contact information. And here's that sample. Thank you for taking the time to consider this invitation to make a difference. I would be happy to speak with you, etc., etc. And I've inserted the fictitious information for you to see what it should look like. So now we're at our pro tips, suggested attachments. And guys, nothing is insignificant in grant writing or any type of donor solicitations. Everything is important. Everything you do makes a difference. So if you send in a cover letter to the public requesting donations, you'd usually attach some type of document that makes your appeal more credible and more transparent and emotionally engaging. So here's some common attachments, and they're in 3 categories. And I don't mean that you need to attach everything here that I'm suggesting, but you pick what you feel is the best item in your arsenal to use when you're soliciting from people. So number 1, your proof of legitimacy and background. Here's some items: a brochure or a fact sheet explaining your mission, history, etc. Your IRS determination letter. To me, it is the top number 1 that you should attach. If you're not going to attach anything else, attach that IRS determination letter. Why? Because it confirms that you are a legitimate tax-exempt organization. And third, your business registration or licensing, if it's necessary, or if you do have one. And most people do have one. If you're a 501c3, you've registered with your state. Group number 2 are your financial transparency items. Your annual report summarizing what you've done for the year. Or it might be a quarterly report or an impact report, something with data on it showing how many people you've served. It could be a newsletter. Anything that will show you what you're actually actively doing in the community. And again, that makes you more credible as well as more transparent. And the third group, personal connection and storytelling. Do you have any testimonials from some volunteers or from people that you've served? Success stories are very important. Who's benefited from your work? And photos. Hey, there's nothing like taking photos. I know when with my particular organization, I have all my volunteers snapping photos at all our events, all our programs when we're doing something, and then we post a lot of them on our website. As a matter of fact, a website, make sure that your website, if you do have one, that you have your website address on anything that you send out to the public. And here's that downloadable sample. Hopefully you can read it on here. If not, go to wcballard.podia.com. Free templates, grant writing step by step, being sure to include the dashes when you're searching. And here's your downloadable fill-in cover letter. This is the one where, as you can see, it's highlighted or in bold, where you would fill in your personal information that we covered. And if this is your first time tuning in, guys, if you want to learn how to be a grant writer or become a grant writer, you can subscribe to my channel. I have a whole series on grant writing for beginners, how to become a grant writer, etc. Or if you want to fast track and really dive in and get yourself all set, you can go take my online classes at wcballard.podia.com. And this is our wrap-up, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Those of you for first time tuning in, click that like button or subscribe. I put a lot of work into this, and it's really appreciated. But take that first step. Believe in yourself. There's a lot of money to be made out there grant writing and learning how to become a nonprofit also. Your community is counting on you. I know you have something to offer. This is W.C. Ballard checking out.